IS is coming for your saves. All of these are nukes. Let's get into it. This is a lot of fun. The first one we have up here is a healer, and the reason this one is most important, and we have here Edain, is that we have Magic Shield Plus in the main pool. And that is, this is a really good skill to have on healers, so that is nice. Right up the bat, we have Staff of Envy. Did I mention this is genealogy? I mean, we actually got a genealogy banner. Anyway, so we have Staff of Envy, we have Slaying, we have Foe Cannot Counterattack. Unit can move to a space adjacent to any ally within 5 spaces, which is excellent. If Rally or Movement Assist skill is used by unit, grants Empathy, Kenta 1, we love it, and the following status to unit and target ally for 1 turn, and that's a guaranteed follow-up attack, which is really important in the meta right now. If unit is within 3 spaces of an ally, grants bonus to units, attack res equals 6 plus 20% of units res at start of combat, and deals damage equals 20% of units res, excluding AoEs, and you get special cooldown count -1 to unit before unit's first attack during combat. The thing you want to pay attention to in the meta right now on nukes is true damage. That and Brave, but those are the 2 really big things you want to focus in on, and this has some good true damage, but this is not a unit that's just going to absolutely knock your socks off. But the support is very nice. If we move on, we have Glitter of Light. We've seen this before. This is interesting though. Sway attack res. If unit initiates combat or is within 3 spaces of an ally, grants bonus to units. Attack res during combat equals 8 plus number of allies within 3 spaces of unit times 2. Really complicated way of saying 12. Most likely 12. Here's the part. And calculates damage from staff like other weapons. So we have Wrathful Staff in the A skill. And in case you're wondering, this is only inheritable to staffs. But we are seeing a concerted effort to free up the B skill on staffs, which is a big thing and can really help them be more supportive. So we have Speed Res Discord to show that. We have Infantry Pulse 4. Both of those are very good. The question is, where do you rank this unit? And I still have this unit. Healers are not there yet. That's all there is to it. You can get some piercing on this unit just by using resonance. So that is something to remember and an important thing. But the fact that she's not going to hit hard enough to be a support in that manner really hinders her. There's a lot of good support here. There's just, she is not the best there, and she's not the best nuke either. So that puts her down there in tier 4, which is some unique stuff. These are fun units. These are good units to have, but they're not things that you're just rushing out to get. That's kind of where we are with this unit. Next up, we have a Blue Archer, which is actually kind of rare. There aren't a lot of those out there. This is Midir, and this unit has a ton of true damage, just an absolute ton. If we're looking at this bow right here, this is Rampart Bow, we have Slaying, and then we have at start of turn, if unit's HP is greater than 25%, inflicts speed defense -7, exposure, and deep wounds on closest foes and foes within 2 spaces of those foes through their next action. Those are all really good effects. That is the first set of true damage you're getting, not to mention an inhibition to healing, which is fantastic. So at start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than 25%, grants bonus to units attack speed defense res equals number of foes. This is a big long way of saying 14. So we have neutralizes units penalties, deals plus X damage, and all of this is max 32. That is something. That is a ton of true damage, and that's excluding AoEs, which is probably for the best. This would be an AoE nightmare, and reduces damage from foes' first attack by 7 during combat, and that includes Braves. So this bow doesn't do a lot. There's not a whole lot of text there, but that is a ton of damage. That is just insane. You have Luna, and you have Sly Swift Sparrow, which right now is probably the best A skill for nukes, hands down, and adds an additional 5 true damage. So you've got 5 from that, you've got 32 from the bow, and you've got exposure on the enemy as long as it doesn't get cleansed. That is a ton. And then you have Insight Speed Defense as well, which I guess is new. I hadn't realized we hadn't had that, but there are a lot of things like that that they leave hanging for years. This is a really interesting unit, and with that amount of true damage, you can go far, but remember the second part of this is you really have to be concerned with Brave. Brave is just something you really need on a ranged nuke right now to get through Shield Fighter. It is just a necessity. It's why you have... Well, let's go to the tier list. So, moving to the tier list, it's why we have units like Bernie and Lucina, Ninja Lucina up so high. They do hit hard, but they also have Brave hits, so you're getting 4 of them, which is fantastic. We also have Lynn up there. She gets 3 hits, but the third one gets through Shield Fighter as well. So that's why we have this layout. Now, I still have this unit in tier 1, and you can get this unit Brave if you pair them with Katria or get them dual strike. And so this unit is a good offensive unit that can kind of punch through things. And as we get extra units in the game through Rune or some other new mythic, it means these types of units are easier to get onto your team. It's just someone who breaks through whatever the opponent has as far as saviors go. And that is really valuable right now because saviors are also very bulky. We've got this arms race going on, and it's an interesting place to be. So keep that in mind. I have this unit very high. I don't have this unit in tier 0, but tier 1 is very high for this unit. I like them. I think Midir is going to be valuable. I'll be completely honest. I'll be summoning for this unit just to get Sly Swift Sparrow because I need that desperately. There are so many units that I have that want that don't have it. But this is also a good nuke, so keep that in mind as you're looking at these units. We have Dew up next, and so this is a red dagger infantry, and this is actually an interesting unit. I kind of like this dagger here. So this is Helping Dagger, and we have at start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than 25%, grants attack speed +5 to unit and grants attack speed +X times 5. And X is this huge, long monstrosity of a thing that means 3. And I don't understand why they do this. But anyway, so basically, that's 15 to attack and speed. And it grants special cooldown charge +1 unit per attack during combat. That's not bad. It's really not. And keep in mind, this is a unit that's going to be going into the main pool. So, I mean, we like this, right? So this is going to be a 4-star that you can summon, and you've got speed, defense, finish, and yeah, I mean, attack speed gap is okay. But this is good. We like this. This isn't anything that's going to just knock your socks off, but if you're looking for a good dagger to give folks, this is one that can be very, very cheap. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. We have our new attuned unit, Brigid, and the art looks amazing. I really, really dig this. This is Suzuki Rika, who just always does a fantastic job. We have a green bow, and we have... The showcase is Alphonse attacking into this unit, and we'll show you why here in just a second. But this is Divine Ufel, and we have Slaying, and at start of turn, if unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack speed +6, incited, and the following status to unit allies within 2 spaces for 1 turn. Unit can move to a space adjacent to any allies within 2 spaces. Orders is good, but it's not really something you look for in a premier unit. Like it is a footnote, and Incited is good as well. So we're not really to the meat of this yet, though. If unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants bonus to units attack speed equals 6 plus 20% of unit speed at start of combat. That's good. Unit deals plus X damage, and X equals, and there is a ton of things that sums up bonuses and penalties, and most of the time this is going to be 25. 25 true damage is pretty good. That excludes AoEs, grants special cooldown count -2 to unit before unit's first follow-up attack, and disables skills of all foes, excluding foe in combat during combat. You'd be forgiven if through that whole thing you missed that last part that I just said. But that whole disable skills of all foes, excluding foe in combat during combat is the whole Lucia treatment. And that is incredibly valuable on these types of units and is, I mean, it's the Lucia effect, or at least part of it. And it's very good. I mean, basically you get Omni Feud, and so many of these units get support in some way from other units, and that goes away. Then we have Draconic Aura, which I don't understand, but you know, it's there. Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a second. And we have Perfect Attack Speed. Now, one of the things we have been talking about in the meta at large is the fact that we don't have a whole lot of full null follow-up in the meta. And this is an attempt to change that. So, unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25% at start of combat, or unit is within 3 spaces of an ally grants attack speed plus 7 to unit during combat. And also, if unit speed is greater than foe speed, you get basically the dodge effect. So if your speed is greater, then you get null follow. That's, I mean, we love that. That's great. It's on infantry only, which is okay, and to be expected. You can see it's the attack speed ideal is its base, but still, in the A skill, that is very, very good and frees you up for other things, especially when you're a nuke. I just talked about Sly Swift Sparrow being the best A skill for nukes. This is probably a close second at the moment, like for infantry. This is very, very good. Sly Swift Sparrow can be used on all units though, and that's something that's nice. So, that is a great A skill. Let's move along though, because we're not done. I remember. At start of player phase or enemy phase, if unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, inflicts speed defense -7, panic, and sabotage on closest foes and foes within 2 spaces of those foes through their next action. You notice this does not have a range on it. This can be throughout the entire map, which is very good for a nuke. If unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, inflicts speed defense -5 on foe and deals damage equals 20% of unit speed during combat, excluding area of effect specials. So, I mean, that's good. This is, you can see just all of the speed and defense being knocked off of other units, which is crazy. Let's move on though. And also, okay, I'm not going to read all this. We have Miracle. Miracle is fantastic. It's, let me explain. The way you use this unit, we should probably finish. If unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, restores 7 HP to unit after combat. That's going to be great for a whole other reason. We have Creation Pulse to get 1 more cooldown, or, well, at least 1 more cooldown. And then we have Tempo Echo. We'll get to Tempo Echo in a second. Let's go back. The unit that you want paired with this unit is Emblem Lyn. And then you want to give Lyn Seal to this unit. What you're going to get, and especially if you combine this then with someone like Cordelia, Dual Strike, you have Brave, you have Desperation, and you have built-in Miracle. And there aren't a lot of save tanks that beat that right now. I've done a lot of experimenting the past week with that because I've been kind of curious what the effect of Lyn was on the meta and how crazy she's going to make things. And I mean, the answer is only as crazy as the nukes are, because Lyn on her own is not amazing. I know folks are going to jump down my throat on that. The Lyn Ring, however, can be very influential on modes like Aether Raids because you can give it to someone with a little more oomph than Lyn has. And this is it. Like, this is oomph. The way you get around that right now is you put Hardy Bearing Seal. Think about Fjorm. It's one of the main ways Fjorm survives. And Fjorm can hit back so hard that it just obliterates whoever's in their path and was trying to kill them. This unit, though, is going to proc Miracle and stop that all from happening. So, you're going to get a lot of hits off with this unit. You're going to get a lot of true damage. You're going to get a ton of debuffs. this unit is going to really smash a lot of saviors. So that is excellent, and I think this is going to be a very, very dangerous unit to see running around in Aether Raids, particularly paired with Lyn on the 7-unit offenses that Rune or whatever Astra Mythic is coming up provides. So just be on the lookout for that. This unit is incredibly powerful. The other thing we look at is tempo, and this is tempo 4, which is unexpected. So we have the full tempo effect, but then we have reduces damage by X%, skills by 50%. So you have that whole piercing effect that we had in tempo 4 as well. If you're wondering who needs this, and I had a long think about this, the problem is most Omni tanks don't want this because they really want NCD right now, unless they have it in their kit. And if they have it in their kit, that's a whole other thing. But most of them, either they already have all of this or they really want NCD. Nukes, however, love this. This is fantastic for nukes, especially if they don't have piercing. So your older nukes are just going to go nuts over this. This is absolutely fantastic. You have to have piercing. You have to have true damage. You have to have piercing. So this is a very valuable skill for them. Honestly, this is what we want to see out of Attuned skills. I know that might be unpopular, but we want to see stuff that is powerful enough that it pulls older units up, but not so powerful that it makes current units unbeatable. For an example, think about the Marth ring versus the Celica ring. Marth ring was excellent at pulling other units up. Celica ring was excellent at making already powerful units even more powerful. So I just stuff to think about. I believe this is the Marth style as opposed to the Celica style. So I'm a fan of this. This unit in particular, though, be on the lookout for her because she is going to wreck stuff, and I am very curious to see her. We need to talk about the tier list. I've got her in tier 0, and I've got her below the Brave units. So we've got Brave Bernie and Brave Lucina. We talked about that. The reason that order is there is because Bernie does actually do more damage. Obviously, Lucina has other things that make her just amazing as a unit. If you're picking one unit, you're picking Lucina. But just for pure nukage, I can't not say that Bernie is better. That being said, the reason I have Brigid behind them is because she doesn't get that natural brave. So Brigid is good if you build a team around her, but she's really good when you do that. And all of this is speculation. Keep in mind, we really need to get this unit into testing. I mean, you've heard every FEHtuber at this point talk about, but this game is very complex at this point. There's a lot of moving things. You've seen how much stuff is in this. But this is a really good nuke. So if you're looking for something that you need to bust up saves or Omni tanks, this is your unit. If you'd like more of a whaley perspective, Chronicos has a channel where he has his whale thought series and talks about each of these units from a whale standpoint, also does arena runs. I'm going to link his latest video, which is an arena run. If he does a breakdown of this banner, I'll change that link to that as well. Go check him out, though. He's a great guy and supports the community a ton. Members, you are amazing. Take care and schedule an appointment with your FEHologist real soon.